What's up, everybody? I created this sign up HTML web page with only HTML and CSS, and how I created this sign up form using only HTML and CSS. I would provide this source code to you guys, and before that, I help you understand how this form is created and how I created this actually. So, it is a sign up form. For first of all, I created in within the body tag within the body tag it is like a form which is I created, and the form is of the, you guys can check, this is all the form. First of all, within the form we created a which is like a container, and for this all thing you guys can check, this is a div, and within the div we created an h1 heading which is like the sign up heading, and it's reflecting here. I would also go with the css to help you guys how I created this. Okay, and after that there is a paragraph we used which is please fill in this form to create an account. Before creating this must be filled, and after that we created an hr tag hr which is like this is okay, you guys can check, this is by the hr, and after that we entered a new paragraph which is like the by creating an account you guys agree to the terms and privacy, and like it is also entitled, or we can say encapsulated with the a tag, which is which means that after clicking here you guys will be redirected to another page. Okay, and these that page would be web page would be terms and condition web page. Okay, and after that it's here some labels, for example for email it is like the email label, and within the email we are getting an input of the type text and placeholder which is like here you guys can check, this is the placeholder and where I have written enter email. Okay, and name is email as required, and after that another label for password is also here which we like here reflecting, and after that an for input form which is to get the uh, password actually. Okay, and after that we have a repeat password, and which is also a type of the password. Okay, from here you guys can enter your passwords etc etc. Okay, and after that another label which is like the input, but that label is of the form checkbox. Okay, and why, okay, I would do that. Here it was a mistake. And for okay, so this is the label which is like the remember me checkbox. Okay, this is a type of checkbox, and checked and name is to remember, and which is showing on the screen. It is remember me, and style is margin bottom top 15 pixels. Okay, and this is a checkbox. We can check it and uncheck this. Okay, to save the passwords or not. Okay, and after that we have another div which is like the buttons div, and we are adding two buttons here, the cancel button and sign up button actually. Okay, you guys can check here are some hover effects also which I would discuss in the css. So here is two buttons, which is one button is like the type button and it is like the cancel button, and other is of the sign up button. Okay, and here the div is also closed, which is like this whole container is closed, and then body etc etc. Now I use the inline css for this. For example, in the body we choose the text which is like the Arial. If the browser does not support Arial, then we will go with Helvetica and then with sans serif. Okay, and after the body we have a universal selector. For example, the box sizing is of the border box, and it like specifies it with the border box. Okay, and you guys can check it specifying well, and this is the form which you must have to create for any web page, so it's very important that you guys understand it correctly. And after that we have an input and input. Okay, so it's like we are talking about these two things which is like the input labels. Okay, from here, okay, I would help you understand this. This is like the input label, and these are all the input labels. Okay, one, two, three, and four. Okay, one is this and other three are these input labels. So how I edited this, or how these are edited here. Okay, so for example, if the input is of the type text and the type password, for example, talking about first this one and this one. Okay, so the width is 100% of the screen. For example, if I open the screen to full size or any other size, it would cover the entire width of the input. Okay, and after that, the padding is 15 pixels. Padding actually means that like the text here is of the 15 pixels from here, from top, from bottom, and from right. Okay, and then the margin is actually 5 pixels from the top side. Okay, margin is actually this thing. Okay, the distance between the email and this box, this is margin, and which is like the 5 pixels from the top, and from the right it is 0, and from the left it is 22 pixels, this thing, and from the very left side it is like the 0 pixels, or 0 per 0. Okay, we don't give any margin to the actually right and left, but from the top it is 5 pixels and from the bottom it is 15 pixels. You guys know it, that margin is top, right, bottom and left. And after that, this is the display, which is like inline block. It is not a block. If I choose it as a block, then it would like take the full like space. Okay, but I choose it inline block, so whenever we need we can like adjust it with the screen. So it's important. And the border I choose to be none, and if I choose any border, for example, I want to choose the 2 pixels and a solid and black border, so like it would give some borders to these three. Okay, so but I don't want to give any border, so that it looks interesting. And background is like simple, this color is in the background, like it's not white, it's f1 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 hex code. And after that we have our text, input text, and like for focus. Okay, so actually it is like giving the property to input text. For example, whenever user give here, so it's like giving some focus. For example, I click here, so like it is focused. Okay, I click here, so it is like focused here, it is like focused here. So that's how it actually works. So whenever I give some focus by clicking here, the background color is changed to this type of color, which is like dark from this hex code. Okay, and then outline is none. For example, if I changed this color to like for example black, then whenever I focused here it would turn black and black and black. Okay, so that's how this property works with it. Okay, so this is like hover effects. It's not hover, it's focus effects. Okay, in css. And after that we have an hr, which is like this one. And hr is symbol of the 1 pixel solid and with this color, and margin from the bottom is given, which is like the 25 pixels. Okay, only. And if I choose this to be like 3 pixel, I hope so it would look interesting. Let's see it. Yeah, no, it's 1 pixel enough for this. Okay, so this is like the hr, we can give this property through the css. And after that we are setting a style for all the buttons. Okay, actually, where are the buttons? These are the buttons. Okay, two buttons from the this is cancel and sign up button. And you guys can check that button color is one is this type of color for sign up actually. And I hope so this is the sign up button, and here is the cancel button. Okay, so for the sign up button we actually have the green, and then text is white, and then some paddings which is like 14 pixels from top and bottom, and from the left right it is 20 pixels. And margin, which is like the 8 pixels actually, margin from the top and bottom actually. Border is none, and cursor is pointer. Whenever cursor gets here it would turn into pointer. And width is 100% and opacity is 0.9. If I choose it to 1.0, it would get dark. Okay, dark green. Or if I choose this to 3, it would two actually. No, it would maximum one, but I choose it to be 0.8 so that it looks like a dim color. Whenever I'm clicking here, it shows a decent color, but it's better to be 0.9. Okay, then button hover. Whenever I hover on the button, the opacity gets to 1. Okay, you guys can check. If I check it from the 0.5, whenever I hover, it would make it color dull. Okay, you guys can check, it's making it dull, but the color opacity should be 1 whenever I hover, so the color turns 1. So this is like the cancel button, and for the cancel button, the padding from the top and bottom is the from the top and from the bottom is 14 pixels, and left right it is 20 pixel. Background color is this, you guys can check. And whenever this is like the cancel button or sign up button, the float is left and width is 50%. Okay, and for the container, actually the whole container, this is the whole container, the padding is choose 15 pixels like from the boxes, so it looks interesting. Okay, if I turn it to be 0, for example, I remove this padding actually, so what it would do, it would like not looks interesting, like something entering in the screen and etc etc. So it's better to be set the padding for 15 pixels. Okay, and then some clear fonts, like for example, in the form user click to clear font, then the content would be null and clear, both display and display will be tables. Okay, and then we also choose the media screen and maximum width, which is 300 pixels and etc etc. So it is like maximum width and the sign up button and the cancel button. Okay, so for example, like it I make full screen, then you guys can check these buttons are also gets large. If I remove this, for example, from here, I would make it this, then you guys can check after making the full screen it would not work. Okay, so that's how it actually gonna work. Okay, so it's not actually working, but I would make it as it was. Okay, and then it is like some of the css here, which is like the body, and body color is like this one, and h1, which is like navy, margin from the left is 20 pixels, and this is like Wordana text, and the font size is like 50 pixels actually increased, and the paragraph one is like this one, and the text align is center actually, and the color is red. Okay, and dot center, which is like the yellow type. Okay, okay, so that's how html and css, using html and css, I created this beautiful form. If you guys need this, I am just pushing it uh, um, on my github, and the link will be in the description actually. So I would you guys can check it on my sign up form. You guys can get this all code from my github. Okay, and here is my github profile. I would share it with you guys so that you guys don't have any issues regarding this. In the github, you guys would go to my public repository, which I created as public, and like css fundamentals, and here is lab 4 css basics, and here you guys can check this is activity 2. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel.